She stabbed him, slashed his throat, and then shot him, just to make sure. That's how much she loved him. If you guessed that today's case was about Jodi Arias, then you're absolutely right. So today we are going to be talking about Jodi Arias, the case of Jodi Arias for the murder of Travis Alexander Victor. Okay, I will admit I'm struggling between putting in a lot of details in the videos and having them turn out to be long. Personally, I don't really like watching long videos. When I see the timestamp, it's like 40 minutes. I don't like watching those, but when I start watching them and I'm getting all like every detail, I really do enjoy it. So you guys should let me know what you like in the comments so I can know how to study, know where to study, what direction to study stories in at. So let's talk about Travis first, the victim. So he grew up in the early stage of his life. He grew up with his parents, and the parents were not the best. They were struggling with substance abuse, and that led them to not being really active in their life, in his life and the lives of his siblings. So they, as kids, they struggled with that. So at some point, Travis later took himself out of that and moved to live with his grandparents. And it's with his grandparents that he was introduced to the Mormon faith, and he stuck with it. Like, he was grown up in it, and he seemed to really like it and really stuck with it even when he was much older and more independent, which is really kind of cool. I think when you teach someone something when they're so young and they're still into it when they're older, I think the grandma did a really good job with bringing him up there. And then we have, so at some point Travis starts working, gets into multi-level marketing, which is, I believe, is something that is really common in the Mormon faith. And Travis was really good at it. He had grown up in levels, like he was really big time and used to give talks, and he made some good money. However, he did not have a girlfriend, and his friends did not really see him into having see him in a relationship, and that was a part of his life that was lacking. He worked for a company called Legal Shields, which will come up very soon. Now let's move over to the killer. That's who she is. Let's move over to Jodi. Jodi, when she was younger, she was just kind of a quiet girl, but would I say quiet? Okay, her parents were not really sure how to describe her, because sometimes she's just okay and the next minute she's pissed off. And I think when she was 9 years, I don't remember the exact age, but when she was pretty young, they saw her growing weed at the roof of the house. So I don't imagine how that conversation went. Like, she was actually growing weed at their house at a very young age. Like, the parents, of course, they were crazy, and so they went into her room trying to find out, okay, does she have drugs? What else is she keeping in this house? What else is she up to? Because it was just very mischievous to find your child growing something like that. And for Jodi, for Jodi, it pissed her off because she felt like they just invaded her privacy, and that pissed her off. Now, later on, Jodi is going, that kind of made their relationship, she was really estranged with her family, because throughout things I've read, things I've seen, she was not really close with her family that way. They were not that close, and they just keep up with her from time to time. And she ended up getting a job at a company called Legal Shield. Her passion was photography, so she was always into taking pictures and stuff like that. But she worked with a company called Legal Shield. Ring a bell? Yeah, the same company Travis worked at. And this company had sort of a seminar or a conference for the cool conference in Vegas for their employees. So employees from different parts of the nation came to Vegas, and they'll probably have like some talk on how to do better at work and stuff like that. And that made colleagues to meet each other and stuff like that. So it's at a restaurant, outside the restaurant, when they were waiting to get sent in, that Travis met Jodi, and it was love at first sight. So Travis's friends see how interested he is in Jodi, obviously, at the restaurant, and they're excited because at least now he has someone in his life, and they were really happy about that. So fast forward, Travis and Jodi keep their contact and move over to their different cities, and life continues. By the way, Jodi had a boyfriend at the time this is happening, but she ended up breaking up with him because they just were not on the same frequency. So Jodi wanted to get married and have kids at some point in her life, and her boyfriend wanted the opposite of that because he had already been married and did not want to have kids, did not want to go through that again. So they broke up, and now Jodi and Travis start texting each other, and they get into they keep in contact. But there was a problem. Travis could not date Jodi because she's not Mormon, and that was the problem for him. So he's trying to do everything he can to try to get her into the religion, and that is what ended up happening. It was said that Jodi was already into it because she walked around a lot of people who were Mormon. And about 2 months later, Jodi got baptized and Travis baptized her, and so they was ready to go. They were in a relationship. Now, during their relationship, because they lived in 2 different cities, they went for a lot of vacations because it was just easier to go on vacations than to visit each other back and forth, which makes sense to me. Now, Jodi and Travis were having sex, and that's not a problem until you're Mormon, because in the Mormon religion it's really a big deal not to have sex before marriage. And for Jodi, this was just, I don't know, it probably did not hit her as hard as it hit Travis. Remember, he grew up in this, and this has been his life, so he knows like I'm doing something really wrong. And Jodi was not, it did not mean that much to her, I guess, because it just kept happening and Travis just kept falling into temptation. At this point, Travis knows he's doing wrong, but he just really can't help himself. So their relationship is going good. Jodi used to go over to Travis's place and spend some time there and probably spend the night, and then would move over to her place. That's when she had some free time. However, as much as Travis's friends liked how he was in a relationship and all, they began to notice that Jodi was becoming really possessive of him. Like, she would go through his phone, check his emails, and she just wanted to know what he was doing at all times, every time. Yes. And so his friends call him to his room, and they're having this conversation, and they're like, hey, I think this girl is really possessive of you. Like, this relationship is not healthy and stuff like that. And as they are talking in the room, Jodi was standing at the door listening. So one of the friends says in a very low tone, like, I can bet you she's listening right now, in a really low tone, so she can't hear that. And when Travis goes to open the door, lo and behold, Jodi was listening in on them. Now, one of the friends told Jodi that, okay, you're too possessive of this guy and we think this relationship will not work. I mean, I do feel like your friend should not be doing a breakup for you. So Jodi really did not care, and she was like, she just cares about what Travis thinks. And Travis, probably at that point, he's like, okay, this shit is getting real. And he tells her, he's like, okay, I feel like this is not working, so let's break up and go. You should go. And at this point, Travis has broken up with Jodi, but Jodi had not broken up with him, because it has to be understood by both parties. He had broken up with her, but she was still in a relationship with him. So Jodi leaves and goes back to her place, and she's still in a relationship with him. He's still her person, because she still has that mindset that he's supposed to be has. Now, after some time, Jodi moves from wherever she was about 10 minutes away from Travis. And she did not tell him about the move. She did not tell him she was going to move, because, I mean, they've broken up and he's expecting her to stay away, even though she did not. she moved close to him, and when she came to surprise him, like, hey, I just moved close to you after we broke up. And that point she saw Travis with another girl named Lisa. They were in his house having probably a date, and it was so annoying because, I mean, she had not broken up with him, at least in her mind. So Jodi goes crazy and she starts doing some freaky stuff with Lisa, and scares her and stuff like that. And Lisa was rightfully afraid, and she decided to be like, Travis, all of this drama, I'm just taking myself out of the situation. And so she left Travis, and I think that was a good decision on her part. She left Travis. Travis was single again. Jodi was not far from him, and he was just, I'll use the word condoning. He was condoning her excesses, because Jodi would show up to his house, and since she knew the lock codes, she'll let herself in. Sometimes he'll kick her out, sometimes they would do whatever they do, and sometimes like at some point she even said she could not afford her apartment, she did not have money, and Travis decided to give her a job. I mean, yeah, he did give her a job as a cleaner, or I don't know, a maid in his house. And yeah, you can imagine. So at this point, I think at some point Travis ended up standing his ground and really made Jodi leave this area. She should go, and she decided to move in back with her grandparents. She decided to move in with her grandparents and work at a restaurant that they owned as a waitress. And at this point, Travis is trying to start a new life. She too is trying to start a new life. So she meets another guy who is also Mormon. Am I saying that right? He also has like a good job, but they live in two different cities. I think she was just looking for another Travis, I guess. And yeah, she's in a relationship with this guy, and their relationship is mostly over the phone. And the plan to meet, but before that, there's this robbery that happened at Jodi's grandparents' house on May 28th, 2008. And the robbers just stole her grandparents' gun. Now, it was said that early that year there was supposed to be a meeting at they were supposed to have one of the cool conferences thing at Cancun in Mexico, and Travis had registered that he'll be going there with Jodi. However, later that year, in about June, he had changed the person who would be accompanying him to another lady friend, which is Mimi in this case. Now, Mimi was a girl Travis met, and Travis was like, yeah, he's really into her. He really liked her. She was Mormon, and Travis really liked her, but she did not see him in that way. So Travis was like, okay, maybe when they go on such a cool trip, things are going to change. Their situationship is going to change. And yeah, but what happened was, between the start of the year where Travis wanted to go with Jodi, was because even though she lived far away, they still used to call. I wouldn't say she used to call. They used to call and have sex over the phones, and sometimes she recorded that. And till now, no one really knows why she did that. Yeah, but she recorded all of that, which would end up being played in court. You guys have no idea. Okay, now at this point, Jodi plans to go and visit her new boyfriend. They're planning to meet up somewhere, and Jodi has already set up. She goes and rents a car, and she rented a car and was given a red car, but she just wanted something that was low-key and kind of quiet. And at this point, she asked for a white car. This car was for her long trip to go with her new boyfriend in Salt Lake City. And on the 4th of June 2008, Alex missed a very important conference call. And on the 5th of June 2008, Jodi met up with her new boyfriend, and they had a good time at hotel. Her new boyfriend Burns notices that her hair was dyed from brown to blonde, and after their meetup and whatever, Jodi goes back to California and gives the rental car back, and they noticed that this car had been driven for 4,500 miles. Now the one of the floor is that what? The floor was missing, and the front seat and the rear seat, some parts of it had stains on it. But you know what? Jodi said they were Kool-Aid stains, so fine. And while back in California, she tries to call Travis, like on the 7th. She tries to call him a couple of times and even leaves a voicemail. Now, on the 9th of June, Travis's friends have not seen him. They've not heard from him for a couple of days now. So they go to his house, a group of his friends, including Mimi, who was supposed to be his date or companion in the trip. They go to his house and they try to knock on the door, but there's no one there. There's no one answering. And they go to the garage where they know the lock code, and they get into the house. Then his friend, the roommate, comes out and is like, what's wrong? And they haven't seen Travis for a couple of days. So they're asking him what's wrong. And they say they haven't heard from Travis for a while now. But the roommate said he had already traveled to Cancun because they haven't seen him in a couple of days. That's when they try to open his door, but it was locked. So the roommate gets a spare key, opens the door, and there is just a stench that hits them. And they see like some blood spatter in the center of the room, and Mimi just has had enough, and she goes outside and calls the police immediately as the roommate walks in and sees Alex in the bathtub dead. Now, investigators come there and try to find anything and everything that they can, and there's really not much. They saw a hand print on the wall, and Travis had been stabbed between 27 to 29 times. He had been shot and he was slit in the throat. This was emotional. So they see a handprint, which later shows it was not Jodi's hand, but it was Travis's hand, which had a mix of Jodi and Travis's DNA on the blood splatter on the hand, on the wall. So they notice a blood stain on the washing machine as they're looking around and trying to figure out what happened. And they open the washing machine and just see some bed sheets that have been washed, bleached actually, but then they find a camera which has been destroyed. It was Travis's camera, but I mean, it's been destroyed. However, they're able to recover the memories some days later, and that will be very vital for their case. Now they go to Travis's friends and like, okay, who do you think could have done this? And everybody's like, ding, 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 Jodi, psycho, Jodi. But they have really no proof because, I mean, Jodi is far away. She even called the dude 2 days ago. She gave him, she made a voice, she sent him a voicemail like, yeah, she was that sick. The police are trying to build up a case and find out what exactly happened. Jodi is trying to reach the police and be like, oh, okay, even though I live far away, I'm like, really, I want to help any way I can, and ends up talking to the police for a long time and does not really say anything useful. However, the camera that got broken, well, they were able to recover the memory, and that is when a picture of Jodi naked and Travis were found in the camera, but there was a picture of her, and it had a time stamp on it, and that was 1:40 p.m. on the day of the murder, June 4th. Now, that is what puts Jodi in the crime scene until she gets arrested. And then during her trial, she even took the stand, and all she tried to do was just paint Travis as the worst guy ever. I mean, he was Mormon, we were having sex, he was not such a good guy, he was very aggressive to her, and I mean, Jodi had a million stories to tell the police. First, she said she had not seen, this is before she knew about the camera, she said she had not seen Travis since March that year. And okay, the camera definitely came up, and she was like, okay, fine. She was with Travis, but some intruders came in, and she called them ninjas. There were 2 of them. They attacked Travis. They just wanted to kill him. She has no idea why. And bro, So next, she tells, this is 2 years later, she finally tells the police, okay, fine, I killed Travis, but I killed it in self-defense. Travis was so abusive, like it was self-defense due to domestic violence. I mean, imagine his family watching all of this go through. And during the trial, Jodi will finally take the stand, and she was just crazy. And it's her lawyer who actually got me really interested in this case, and we are going to be watching some of the videos, some of the excerpts from her interrogation to the trial. Did I tell you guys Jodi was doing, like, just practically doing headstands in the interrogation room? Yeah. And her lawyer, the defense lawyer, what am I supposed to say, he grilled the barbecue out of her on trial. So that is going to be fun to watch. I just wanted you guys to have a backstory of what Jodi did before you guys see this and begin to feel bad for her. Hopefully not, but yeah, that's what we are going to be watching today. And probably this is going to have a part 2, because explaining all of the Jodi situation shit took some time. So guys, this is Jodi on trial. It's just going to be some parts of, like, the most interesting parts, so you guys can see how she acted and the things she said and just her demeanor throughout the trial. They had so many issues. He kicked.
That's true. That's because you killed him. Oh. Jodi, you did. I did not. Jodi.
This was just her doing a regular handstand, like, hey, like, wait, what does you killed him have to do with your trial is going on? Like, he kicked the dog once. Really? She has, like, a tape of all the bad things he had done. Yeah, handstand.
This is a really trivial question, and it's going to reveal how shallow I am. But before they book me, can I clean myself up a little bit?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, she requested to do, like, a little touch up, a little makeup, like, before her pictures. Like, it was a photo shoot for her. And I'm so glad she was refused, because, like, this lady is crazy.
That'd be great. Yay, bottled water. Never put my makeup on in front of a total stranger, but that's okay. You're not that much of a stranger. It's been like weeks since I put makeup on. Glad to see this is waterproof. I don't plan to cry, but, you know, I probably will.
Who plans to cry? Who makes plans like, hey, today's Monday, I'm gonna cry today during the trial? Probably when I'm saying these days. I mean, I know a few people, Jodi included.
Whatever you want to change, or if you don't think something looks right, just let me know. I'll adjust it. I guess if I start getting shiny, then we can take a break. Can you do me a favor and just hold that? Sorry.
Like, they work for her. Can you just hold that for me, please? I need to put the way why is she so happy about murder case? This is how you go to a murder. It's just like someone singing, I don't know, jingle bells at a funeral.
There are a few reasons I did that, and one is one of my first thoughts when I was actually being booked. And I was a little like, wow, I see this stuff on TV all the time. This is so interesting. It's almost just like it is on TV. And then also part of the fact that I knew it would be all over the internet, so why not?
She was more concerned of how her photos are going to look on the internet, like how good she's gonna look on the internet, rather than like what's reading the room. This is like, you've murdered someone. This is a serious situation.
And in the meantime, smile and say cheese. Hey, you know, he would.
Yeah, she was singing. It's driving me crazy too.
When Christ was born. Well, I appreciate your vote. Thank you very much. I need to get a chance to introduce myself when everybody's like, what network are you with? CBS. guess, no, it's actually a producer that...
Like, what bothers me a lot is how cool she is about the whole situation.
that does freelance out there. She's the one that we were talking to, and I'm helping her out. So it's kind of confusing. Different states. Sounds exciting. Either way. Oh, you did? Okay.
It is
I guess
exciting.
that's really all I needed.
Ugh.
Sorry. Don't roll the tape yet.
She doesn't want to be caught looking not cute. Don't roll the tape yet. Please don't.
Mr. Burns, I think you might have already answered this question, but I was afraid it might have got lost in the other voices speaking. Mr. Burns.
About the speaking voice, if he has something to say to me, he can say it directly.
State your next question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
With regard to this particular camera, and you said that it was 45 seconds, right?
Yes.
Did that take 45 seconds, sir?
I'm going to object. That's evidence that was just dumped on the floor.
More like a
Well, what is she saying? That's evidence that was just dropped on the floor. We all saw it happen. Like, hey, today's Monday. The sun is shining.
circle if you want to get into geometry.
Sir, that's not my question to you, is it? I'm asking you who's making the money, aren't I?
Oh,
Who worked the hardest?
Sustained.
We talked about 2 times. What about the 3rd time?
Well, let's continue on with that time.
Sir, I'm asking you when you met her the 3rd
was this Jodi's father? Because he acts like her.
time. You don't get to ask the questions, I do. So when was the 3rd time you met her? During this time, again, everyone during the day is expected to dress professionally, right?
Right.
And that's how she dressed, correct?
And in the evenings as
Sir,
well.
am I asking you about the evening? I'm not, am I?
Okay, this attorney is like, I think I'm gonna look for some other cases of his because he's someone I want on my side, not against me. But think it. Loading. Still loading.
Sir, I asked you a question.
Answer.
Am I asking you about the evening?
No.
Anything else after this particular murder happened, right?
Yeah. I
So
didn't hear your objection.
it is. Like, the judge is like, honey, what is it? It was not like suicide.
I'll say killing.
Rephrase.
One of them is 417. Do you see this one?
Objection. Are we still talking about the hard drive? Yeah.
Oh, I really had, like, I read that her taking the stand took like 18 days. Jodi had a lot to say.
But it's their speeches. I think they use the term entertainment. It's entertaining training. Do you know what I'm saying?
Why
It's,
is she smiling?
Entertaining training, I guess you could say. Anyway, this is embarrassing.
It is.
His dog jumped in the pool and sank right to the bottom. So that was scary. I guess pugs don't swim. So he was saying
Yeah, I had seen this floating around. But
that my brother was a faggot because his name is Carl.
Jodi breaking down. Oh no. Ugh.
I told him that
You
he
should-
was named after my grandfather. He said, "Your grandfather must be a faggot too, then." What's 16 pie?
Yeah, the sounds were played on the internet in court, and yeah. The editor just went. I couldn't help but laugh. This is a point where you're like, you know what? I killed this man. Please take me to jail. Can we stop the music? Oh, wow. Am I still here?
You sound like they're candy, like they're lollipops.
Wow. Wait, is she laughing or is she crying? Because that's what I would like to know right now. What's going on? This, the editing is perfect. Oh. Brain cells dropping down.
And every time I scratch my nail down someone else's back, I hope you feel it. Well, can you feel it? So I wasn't angry, I was just shocked. Like I thought, I'm sorry.
Asking for themes.
No need to apologize to him.
And I'm going to object to defense counsel's outburst. There's an objection. The court should rule.
Yes.
This guy was a perfect person to grill her because like he's ready for everyone and everyone to take on everyone. Don't even think about it.
Rule the objection. Let's not make comments. Ask the question. And sustain the objection. Ask your next question.
Ooh.
I put, are those man boobs or are you just ripped?
Okay.
I think I did, but it escapes me right now.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry I didn't sleep last night. My memory's shot.
Did you like it when he called you a three-hole wonder?
No.
Yeah, take a look at Exhibit 413. You recognize that exhibit, correct?
Yes.
And that's a picture of you, correct? Right here.
Yes.
And the other one is a picture of your dumb sister,
Ooh.
Angela, correct?
That's my sister. She's not dumb.
Oh.
I honestly think, talking about Angela, she's a little bit dumb. You said that, right?
Yes, I called her dumb and stupid.
Did I ask you whether or not you called her stupid, man?
No.
I asked you whether or not you called her dumb, right?
Damn.
Yes.
I personally hate being asked to make yes or no decisions on the spot. Like, dude, I should never get this man upset. I actually love him.
Do you have problems with your memory, man?
Sometimes.
So you can tell us, for example, what kind of coffee you bought at Starbucks back on June 3rd of 2008, but you can't tell us what you said yesterday or the day before?
I
Exactly.
always got the same drink at Starbucks.
Oh.
And he was there
She just has like a really sharp mouth and is ready to defend herself.
with the female, though. You were able to see her face, though, right?
Yes, sort of.
Well,
Ugh.
yes or sort of means two different things. Yes or no? Were you able to see her face or not?
Part of it was shadowed from the
Yes,
TV
no.
behind her, so I saw part of it.
Judge, she's not answering my question. If you can instruct.
Ms. Arias, listen carefully to the question and answer only the question you are asked.
Okay.
May continue.
Could you see her face? And yes or no?
Part of it.
Part of it.
Oh boy. Yeah, it is annoying. Okay, guys, there's gonna have to be a part 2 of this because between explaining Jodi's backstory and this, it's a lot. So see you guys same time tomorrow. We have to watch all of this because it was just a crazy ride. And see you guys tomorrow. If you like the video, please give it a like. It really encourages me to see you guys like something. And let me know in the comments. I would definitely want to see more cases by this guy, but let me know in the comments which cases you like me to cover. And see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.